like all this brand new web stuff and it's not working. So we're going to ditch the Facebook Live idea and it's just going to be us, which is even better. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sam Bennett from theorganizedartistcompany.com, and we're going to be talking about 24 non-obvious mistakes to avoid when you're putting together a workshop, either in person or online. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you from all over the world signed up for this, and I love having this time with you to talk. So let's do our breathing, right? That gets us into the same space at the same time so that those of you who are here live or those of you who are watching the replay later can sort of be here in the room with us all together, right? We're kind of creating a space all our own where we can step aside from our sort of day-to-day concerns and the stuff we have to get done that should have been done today and should have been done yesterday and really should have been done 3 years ago. And instead focus on not just where we're at right now, but where we want to be going. What's the difference you want to make in the world? What's the lesson you want to leave? What's the legacy? What's the life you want to create for yourself? What's the income you'd love to have coming in from workshops? Let's take some time to focus on that and see where that takes us in the next 60 to 90 minutes or so. So the first thing is breathing, and we're just going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and then exhale for a count of 8. And we're going to do that 3 times. So if you want to drop your shoulders down and back, open up your chest a little bit. If you want to give yourself a little Mona Lisa smile, right? Loosen your hands and feet. Take off your glasses. And you ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for doing that with me. So here's why we're here. We're here because I've got a new course that's starting next week. It's called Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. And I offered it for the first time last year, and it was one of the most popular and most successful classes I have ever offered. It was hugely in demand, and it was a great, great class. So I'm super excited to be offering it again. So I wanted to get the word out, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to see that it's a good fit for you. And I also just, these free classes are an opportunity for me to keep the world safe from crappy workshops. I was just at one a couple of weeks ago that was, well, I wish he could take this class. That's all I'll say about that. So I know that you all are in the right spot because you all submitted some of the most amazing questions I have ever seen. You know, on the registration form for this, it said, name, email, and then it said, what do you have a question about creating a great workshop? And you submitted a jillion questions, all of which were really on point, right? I mean, sometimes I ask questions and I get people answering like that. I'm like, oh, you're not really ready for this, or I don't really know what you're talking about. But you guys were all like spot on with your questions. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I have tried to incorporate at least some of them into our time together today. And obviously, if you're interested in Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops course, we'll answer all of those questions during the course. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cover the 24 not obvious mistakes that I had to learn the hard way about offering workshops, both in person and online. This applies to both in-person workshops and online workshops, teleclasses, webinars, teleseminars, all that. But also small group, large group, retreats. Really, the principles are the same. I'm going to spend probably 5 or 6 minutes talking about Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops so that you can feel out whether or not it's something you want to be involved in. But we'll do it quick so that if you're not interested, it's not going to bore the pants off you. And then at the very end, I'm going to uncover 5 hidden secrets, things that I did to make this workshop today, right now, better, that are sort of embedded. They're like Easter eggs, right? So they're sort of hidden. So especially if you have already offered workshops, you may have spotted a few of them. You may want to be taking notes and see some of the sort of, not really sneaky, but things I've done that help make this a better experience for both of us and can help you have your workshops be a better experience for you. So let me reach that. Can you see those boxes? That's my new desk. I got a new desk. Obviously, it's not assembled yet, but I got a new desk. So be sure you're taking notes. Be sure you ask questions. Like I said, I'll stay on the line for as long as I can to answer questions. That will also give you more time to enroll in Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops, because if you enroll while we are live together right now, you will get an extremely special unadvertised bonus that you are going to be really, really happy about. So don't wait. Don't wait. If you are watching a replay, I think you will also get the bonus if you buy while you're actually watching it. I think our little system will know if you do that or not. So yeah, that's good for everybody. Okay. And in fact, let me just put up the information about Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops now so that I don't forget about it later. But it's just turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com. You don't have to go there now, but I just want you to know where it is you would be going. Okay. So a lot of the reason that I wanted to offer this class was because I figured out a while ago that I've been teaching workshops since 1986. I was a smarty pants 20-year-old teaching classes at the Second City Theater in Chicago. And since then, I've led thousands and thousands of hours of retreats, workshops, classes, seminars, teleclasses. So I had a huge amount of sort of unconscious competence around teaching workshops. And every good thing in my life has come to me from workshops. Pretty much. Most of the good things in my life, anyway, have come to me through workshops. My entire business, I started out just teaching the Get It Done workshop in a church basement to 12 people. And out of that came the book, and out of that came the entire Organized Artist Company. Because I was willing to start really small and not really knowing what I was doing. The new book, Start Right Where You Are, How Little Changes Can Make a Big Difference for Overwhelmed Procrastinators, Frustrated Overachievers, and Recovering Perfectionists, also started out as a workshop. It started out because I saw that there were people on my list who needed some work around the inner game of creativity. And, I taught the class a couple of times. And once I had done that, the book was really easy to write because I had the structure, I had the teaching stories, I sort of knew what was necessary. So it led to all that. The other thing it gave me is because I offered these workshops and then wrote these books, I was able to traditionally publish these books because I had become a better writer. And we're doing all this writing around promoting my workshops. I'm telling you, there's nothing like marketing writing. There's nothing like writing copy to make you a better writer. Because you have to get really specific. Like, what am I saying? Who am I talking to? What do I want them to do? What is important about this? Why should someone sign up for this? And it really focuses you. And the fact that I was able to go to the publishers and say, well, I've already filled up these workshops. I've already made this amount of money from these self-published books. I made $5,000 on my first book, and that was a book of poetry, people. So, and it let the publishers know that I wasn't afraid of promoting, because a lot of writers are. So the fact that I understood how to fill a room made a big difference to them. It also, along the way, as you could tell, unleashed my inner marketing nerd. And I became an Infusionsoft certified consultant and reseller. And I am now one of the best respected people in that community. I've been there a long time. And it's a beautiful group of people. And I have learned a ton about technology and computers and marketing automation and software. It's it's been an incredibly like whole new chapter in my life. It's like people who become doctors when they're 50, like I had no idea that I had these skills. So that's been super exciting. I've met the most amazing people through offering workshops, both other teachers, but also the people in my workshops. The people, you guys know, a lot of you have done workshops with me. I mean, the community there is beyond. I mean, just brilliant, generous, wise people. Such an incredible tribe. The last two reasons, one is there's nothing like teaching to get you to really understand your own work. Teaching has deepened my understanding of how creativity works, of how procrastination works, of what teaching is all about, what personal development and transformation is all about. There's nothing like teaching something to get you to really understand it in a new way. So if you're interested in, growing yourself spiritually and professionally, workshop teaching is the best way. And finally, it allowed me to go from, crying on a couch in North Hollywood because I was so tired and broke to, I got a mid-six figures business. I live by the beach and I could move here because I teach online, right? I didn't have to be anywhere specifically. So I'm here to tell you, if you're like, oh, workshops, I couldn't, really consider it because it can change your life in the most beautiful and exciting ways. Okay, so you ready? Pens out. Have you already been taking notes about sneaky things I've been doing to make this workshop better? Good. Okay. I'm going to go through these 24 tips, and I'm going to do it in roughly the same structure that we have for the Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops course. We're going to talk about some planning and preparation tips. We're going to talk about some marketing and sales tips. We're going to talk about structure, content, and delivery. I know you guys had a ton of questions about that. And I'm talking about what to do afterwards, what to do once you're actually in it or once the course is over. I am not going to get into any tech stuff today just because we don't have time. Really, it's a big rabbit hole, and I am going to do 3 bonus tech calls in Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. So you'll get a lot of technological information, but I'm not going to do it here in this preview call. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So that thing I was saying about how I became a better writer and a better marketer because I was offering workshops. I once wrote an email, and this is not like marketing exaggeration. This is on my Girl Scout honor. I once wrote an email that brought in $80,000 on my honor. One email, $80,000. And now if you're like, oh, I want to copy that email. Yes, you'll get it. If you sign up for Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops, you'll get that. And all my Bright Great Emails training. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so here we are. You ready for the 24 tips? Tip number 1, best tip ever. Ready? Never do math on stage. Never do math on stage. Even if you're really good at math, I think your brain crumbles a little bit when you're in front of a group. And certainly I am not great at math. And so I just refuse to do it. Or I have it planned out ahead of time, so I just have to copy it out. There's a larger point here, though, in addition to never doing math on stage, which is don't ever do anything that you're not really comfortable doing. People say like, oh, you should tell jokes, or oh, you should sing, or oh, you should, dance like Ellen does at the beginning. Or only if you love that. Only if you love that. Only if that feels really great and comfortable for you. One of the key things to having a really successful workshop is for you to feel solid and comfortable and alive and with a light in your eyes and a warmth in your heart. And you can't have that if you're nervous or shut down. Okay? So tip number 1, you do you. You rock your workshops the way you like to do it, in the way that makes you feel great. Okay? Kathy says, oh, wow, so true. Really best not to take one's shoes off in front of others too. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Okay. So tip number 2, one of the questions that came up a lot was a concern about being boring. Like, how do I not be boring? How do I not speak in a monotone? And the answer is really don't teach it unless you love it. When you are super fired up about your subject, your students will be super fired up about it too. And we all had that teacher, right, in grade school or in high school, where you're like, I never thought I would care about geometry, but then I had, Mrs. O'Leary, and she was incredible. Or I had Bernie Markwell, and he was such a great history teacher that I got really fired up about a subject I never thought I'd care about. So it's not the subject. No subject is boring, right? It's just you. So connect with your love about what you're teaching, and that'll keep you from being boring. Tip number 3, we got a lot of questions about this too. How do I make sure my content is relevant, right? And it's a simple answer, and I did it when prepping for this. Make sure you ask them a compelling question on the registration page, or as they're signing up, or during the intake call, during the application process, however it is you're getting them in the room. Not only will it sort of pre-qualify them, it'll let you know kind of where they're at, but it'll also help you create great content and great marketing materials, because you will have the information about how they are talking about the problem they're having in their own words. You feel me? Okay. Number 4, don't overwhelm them with content. Content takes way more time in real life than it does inside of your head. And remember, you are already an expert. So deliver less information and give them more time to process. Less info, more processing. Okay? And here's an easy tip on how to do that. Tip number 5, go in 90-minute blocks. Don't ever try to teach for more than 90 minutes. Don't ever try to ask people to sit for more than 90 minutes at a time. And then make sure they have enough of a break to sort of process and assimilate a little bit. Another question we got about getting started is how to get started. How do I even get started? How do I overcome my procrastination and my self-doubt? Nothing overcomes procrastination and self-doubt like a hard deadline. Set the date, people. Set the date. Get out your calendar and say, that's it. I'm teaching this workshop on this day. I'm teaching a 2-hour workshop on the first Saturday in May. And if you sign up for Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops, you actually could, because we'll be done. You'll have all the information by then. We'll be done with the course. First Saturday in May. What do you think about that? Does anybody want to commit? I'm not going to push you on it, but I think you should think about it. Okay, so that's our first 6 of the 24. The next couple of ones have to do with marketing and sales, which was probably your biggest question. Like, how do I get butts in seats? How do I get people to sign up? How do I get the right people to sign up? How do I get them to pay, right? Okay. I totally get it. So tip number 7 on our list of 24. Part of the reason your marketing isn't succeeding is because you're not doing enough of it. If no one is complaining about your marketing, you are not doing enough marketing. People need 7 to 9 touches before they even know that anything's happening. That means they need to get an email, get another email, have you call them, have a friend call them, see a billboard on a bus, have you knock on their door with a plate of cookies, and then deliver a hand-embossed envelope to their work before they go, oh, I think she might be doing a class or something. So yeah, you can't bother people enough. If they're interested, they'll be happy. Shirley says 3rd Wednesday in June, close enough? Shirley, 3rd Wednesday in June, that sounds fabulous. I'll hold you to it. Good job. Commit. So yeah, get over the fear that you're bugging people. You're offering them a service, you're doing them a favor. They want what you have. And if they don't, they'll unsubscribe. God bless the unsubscribes. Here's a marketing and sales tip that no one ever tells you. Don't use the word learn in your copy, right? Learn how to do calligraphy, learn how to do body work, learn how to access your past lives. Nobody wants to learn. It sounds like homework. It sounds like school. Even smart people, it's an unselling word. It's what they call an unselling word. So use discover or find out. Find out how to give a great back rub. Find out how to, get your nutrition in order, whatever it is. Okay, here we're up to number 9 on our list of 24, and this one gets a little more complicated, but I know that you guys have a lot of questions about it, and we do an entire session in Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops about it. So I'll get as far as I can in the time we have. It has to do with pricing, right? It has to do with how do you charge. And one thing that people get hung up on is like, there's this phrase that goes around, particularly in personal development, of like, you got to charge what you're worth. You got to charge what you're worth. Make what you're worth. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because your worth is not variable. Your worth is intrinsic, right? Your worth is not affected by how much you charge or don't charge, or how many people sign up or don't sign up, or whether you offer a workshop or not. Your worth is the same, right? And I mean, if we had 6 babies in front of us, we would never say, oh, this baby is worth more than that baby, right? No, as a person, your worth is intrinsic. So we're not worried about charging what you're worth. What we want to charge is, what is it worth to them? What is it worth to your clients? What is it worth to your students to have the answers, to have the information that you're going to be giving them? And you can help them figure that out by, and this goes back to number 1, but I'm going to try it anyway, doing a little math for them. For example, Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. I'm going to give you all the info and tools and resources and templates and legal stuff and checklists and tech information, all the stuff I can possibly think of to help you create and sell a fantastic workshop, right? And if, say, you were able to take that information and offer a workshop for super cheap, $197, and you got 20 people in that workshop, and let's say you were able to do that 4 times a year, well, that would be over $15,000, right? And here's the math, right? So 195 times 20 is 3,900, 4 times a year, yeah, $15,600. And you could do that year after year after year. So I could make a pretty good case for charging over $15,000 for Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. I'm not, obviously, but I could. And even if what you're teaching is like a little softer than that, like it's relationship skills or sexual empowerment, or even nutrition, communication skills, body stuff, where there isn't like a direct ROI, it isn't like you'll learn this, you can make this, you can still help people get there. How much is it costing you to be so stressed out? How much is it costing you to not have a good communication with your teenagers? How much would you pay to not argue with your husband about the bills every month? And let them assign a number. Like, wow, if I could, not argue with my husband every month, I'd pay $1,000 just to not have that argument if I were a person who had that problem. Okay. When I'm offering Get It Done workshop, when I'm some of the other classes I teach for the Organized Artist Company, I kind of have to remind people, like, your procrastination hurts, right? Procrastination hurts your bottom line. It hurts your relationships. It hurts your self-esteem. And so doing something like Get It Done workshop or Start Right Where You Are has a real benefit, not just on the esoteric level, but on a real practical level. So if you can ground what you're offering in terms of what is the value to them, that's where the magic is. And there's more to it than that. Obviously, we'll get into it in the course, but that should at least get some of your wheels spinning. Roberta says, thank you, Sam. We are all worth so much. It's true. It's true. Kate says, that's a great tip about learn. I'm all about learning myself, but so good to realize what a turnoff this is for many people. Yeah, exactly. Like, I love to learn, but even so, discover is kind of more interesting, isn't it? It's a little more tantalizing. Okay, so tip number 10. This may seem a little obvious. We're still in the marketing and sales part, but I have seen a lot of people leave a lot of money on the table doing this. You have to make it easy for people to pay you. You have to make it easy for people to pay you. You want to receive money in whatever way people would like to give you money, right? So you want to have a PayPal button. You want to have a Square or a PayPal swiper for your smartphone so you can take cards right there. I never understand when people are like, oh, sign up for my workshop. Send me an email telling me you want to enroll and I'll tell you where to send the check. It's like, no, just let me just pay you. So there's all kinds of ways to do it, especially online now. I know it's a little trickier internationally for some of you who aren't in the US. There's some things that get a little more complicated because it's not so much in the culture to pay online or use credit cards in that same way. But for those of you in the US, you don't have any excuse. Make it easy and obvious for people to pay you. People are like, oh, but PayPal takes out a percentage. Right. So you build that percentage into your overhead because you're a business person and you're worth it. Jan says, great tips. Thank you. Thank you. I was hoping they would be great tips. Okay. You guys doing good? Do you have questions? Are you writing things down? All right. Because I realize I am rocketing through this, but just like you guys, I'm so tired of these preview calls where it's like a ton of sales pitch and no actual information. So I wanted to cram as much information as I could. All right, so now, Roberta says, PayPal is my friend. Yes, PayPal is your friend. Oh, Lisa has some other great words other than learn. Discover, uncover, experience, receive, explore, delve into, immerse yourself. Oh yeah, unearth, reveal, so many good ones. Kathy says, these are gems. Thank you. Gigi, do you have to have a huge email list to do this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I started with no email list at all. So yeah, no, you start with what you got. Start with what you got. Okay, tip number 11. This is another super easy one, but nobody ever tells you this stuff. If you're teaching online, reboot your computer before every class. And you may even want to clear your cookies, clear your cache. If you don't know how to clear your cookies, Google it. 12. If you are afraid that things will go wrong, like if you are tech concerned or you're using new technology, understand that they will. They will. Your PowerPoint will go out, the internet will crash, your phone will ring, your assistant will quit, like absolutely crazy things will happen. So you want to plan a little bit for some failure. You want to have backup plans. You want to print out your PowerPoint in advance so you've got a hard copy in your hand just in case the screens aren't working. Don't freak out. It's like doing a show. Those of you who are performers know things go wrong all the time. We're not trying to do things perfectly. We're just trying to do it so that it works, right? Lisa says, apropos of nothing, everybody needs to read Start Right Where You Am. I am crying and laughing on every page. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That means the world to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a pretty good book. I like it too. Okay, number 13. I learned this one actually from Kendall Summerhawk, whom I've never studied with, but I bought a few of her programs. They were quite helpful. And one of the things she said is get a room angel. Get a room angel. So even if you're teaching alone, have someone in the room with you, and even online, to take notes, to help direct people to the bathroom, to run to the hotel manager and say that the room is freezing. Can we make it less freezing? To, get people water, carry Advil, all that stuff. You need a right-hand person. And it can even be somebody that you just, a friend that you just have do it for free. I'm always a big fan of paying people as much as you can but you absolutely want to have somebody else there. And also, because you're the talent too. You don't want to have to be setting up chairs and running around like a crazy person before you're about to teach. Okay. And in response back to Gigi, you can actually build your list when you launch a workshop or an online course. A launch is the best way to grow a list. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Larissa says, can you review tip number 1? I missed it. Yes, tip number 1 was never do math on stage. Never do math on stage. The broader tip is do what you're comfortable with. Don't try to do things you're uncomfortable with. Okay. Tip number 15. This is easy to say, but can be hard to do for some of you. Drop the thing about having to be so professional all the time. Drop the jargon and teach in a more straightforward manner. You've got it. Yeah. Easy but hard. No jargon. Don't be professional. Be you. Kathy says 14. Oh, did I skip 14? I did. Okay. So 13, get a room angel. 14, oh, this goes with number 13. Another secret is conserve your energy during breaks. You are the talent, right? So during breaks, don't be trying to answer everybody's questions. Don't be circulating or socializing. Find yourself a private room, go into a broom closet, go into the ladies' room, whatever you need to do, and keep yourself centered, because it takes a lot of energy to run these things, both online and in person. And also give yourself some recovery time. It's shockingly exhausting. So don't expect yourself to do something, the next day after you run a 3-day intensive, or even this afternoon. I probably won't do very much actual work after I've done this with you all. So yeah, 14, conserve your energy during breaks. 15, no jargon. 16, and this sort of goes with 15, instead of using jargon, instead of being all professional, aka boring, tell great stories. Tell great stories. Even if you have to make up a story, right? Janice was suffering from terrible back pain, and she came to me with this situation, and we did this, and this is what she learned, and here's where she is today. These simple client success stories, simple apocryphal stories, fairy tales, make it up however you want it to be, but people will forget everything you say except a good story. They might remember a good story. So Wendy says, what was 14, please? Okay. Conserve your energy during breaks is 14. 15, no jargon. 16, tell great stories. 17, and this goes to how to not be boring and how to get great feedback so that you know that you're going at a good clip, that you're going at the right pace, is give people a way to interact with the material, right? So like you guys are writing down now, this is a numbered list so that you can keep up and keep track and not just have it sort of all wash over you. If we were in a room together, I might have you share with a neighbor what your favorite thing so far is. I might have you act it out. What does it look like when you're professional and boring? What does it look like when you're animated and engaged? Right? Active learning, says Kathy. Exactly. Anytime you can get people to interact in a vibrant way with the material, the better off you're going to be and the more they're going to take from it. And then again, you get great feedback from them. You find out, what are they remembering? What are their biggest takeaways? What's really impacting them? Because I guarantee you, the thing you think is most interesting is not the most interesting thing to them. Okay? And then once you know that, you can sell it better next time because you'll have had this experience. Okay. So here we are, speaking of active learning. We're a little more than halfway through right now, and I want to check in with you guys. Is this going okay? Are you getting what you want? Are you feeling intrigued about turning your wisdom into workshops? Are you, how's it going? So this is a mid-course check-in, right? And it's something that I do in all my classes to just give people a chance to say something that maybe they might not otherwise have an opportunity to say. Kelly says, oh yeah, intrigued. Awesome content. Sam, you are a goddess. Oh, pshaw. Thank you. Okay, good. Oh, great. So many of you are here. That's so good. Okay. A generous goddess. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, generosity is one of our big values here at the Organized Artists Company. So I'm always happy to give away as much as I can. Carla says, great tips. Well delivered. Going great, says Jan. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, good. Then we'll keep going. So tip number 18, again, how to not be boring and get great feedback. Ask them. Ask them. Ask the group. Trust the group intelligence. I'll tell you, I got asked, my friend Carol Allen, some of you may know Carol, she's one of the world's foremost Vedic astrologers and a relationship coach. And she got asked to do a presentation at a love coaching conference. And she called me up about a week ahead of time and said, can you do this with me? And I said, yeah, sure I can. There, my necklace just came undone. And so we put together a little workshop about using your authentic voice, and particularly in email marketing, which is something that she and I both, have built our businesses on. And we came up with this, I'd made some slides and we were doing this talk and we were having a really good time. She and I are such good friends. It was really fun. And the people were getting really sparked up. And I was giving some ninja tricks like I do in my Write Great Emails course, which is actually a bonus for Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. So if you do the workshop class, you'll get the emails class. So I was giving some of my crazy ninja tricks and they were getting really excited by those. And we had planned to do a thing at the end of our presentation that was about helping them figure out what their authentic voice was. But they were so into the ninja tricks that about 2/3 of the way through, I said, wait, let me pause for a second. Do you guys want to do this branding thing, this writing thing, or would you rather keep going with the email ninja tricks? And we took a little vote and they were like, ninja tricks, ninja tricks. So that's what we did. But you've got to have the courage to ask and inquire and sometimes to change course. Sometimes you got to be on a jet ski and be like, okay, not what I had planned. Boom, going this way. But it was super fun. And then I actually have to do this afternoon. I got to make a video of that exercise that I was going to do and then give it to them as bonus material. So in a way, they get both. It's great. So yeah, ask them. Okay, number 19. And now we're talking about sales. How do you sell? How do you make money? Whether you're offering a free thing like this or talking to people about what you're selling. This isn't, again, so simple. When I say it, you're going to be like, well, duh, Sam. But you'd be amazed how many people don't do it. And I bet you don't do it, especially when you get stressed out about money. When you are talking to people about what you're offering, particularly when you get to the money part, smile. Even just a little Mona Lisa smile, and do one of the smiles that crinkles your eyes up in the corner. So it's not an insincere cheese smile, it's an actual smile. And you can give yourself an actual smile by remembering how much you love to teach this material and how much you would love to have these people participate with you. And that joy cuts right through any concerns about, that's my UPS delivery guy knocking at the door because he's got the rest of my desk, but he's going to have to leave it on the table. Okay. So yeah, keep smiling as you are talking, and it works even over the phone, even when they can't see you. Okay. Here's another little tip. If you are teaching online, if you've got a webinar going like this, you want to be looking through the webcam. So it's hard enough already not to be looking at your own self. That just takes some discipline to look into the camera. But you don't just want to look into the camera. You want to look through the camera into people's hearts, into their minds, into what they're hungry for, into how you can help them. So that's a little actor trick from my actor background. Look through the camera. It's true when you're getting your photograph taken too. Look through the lens. Okay. Tip number 21, if you've got somebody, if you say you're teaching in a live room and maybe you've got a team of people selling for you in the back of the room, like you've got an offer or something, have them stand up to take the sales. Have them stand up. They may even want to move to the front of the table. And this is true too, for those of you who do like art fairs or, you're sponsoring at events, like when people are just sitting back behind a table, like we have that, oh, I don't want to bother them feeling. But if they're standing up and like eager with the iPad, with the swipe credit card thing, we're like, oh, I can go to them and buy this thing, right? Roberta says, that's great info. We can change course. Who knew? Yes, you might often have to, you might have to change course sometimes. And Kathy says, like the old romper room magic mirror. That's right. I see Kathy. I see Roberta. I see Jan. I see Lisa. Exactly. I love that show. So tip number 22, and hear me when I say this, please. Don't barter. Don't barter. I would love to live in a world in which barter worked. I would love that so much. But in my experience, everyone always feels like they're getting the short end of the stick. So if you have somebody you want to trade with, like, oh, I'm going to let them take this class and then they're going to do my social media, or I'm going to let them take this class and they're going to give me a massage or whatever. Just write each other a check. I'll write you a check for $500. You write me a check for $500. Done. It's better business. It keeps things clearer and cleaner. Just don't barter. Okay. Deborah says, look through the camera is a great tip for my virtual summit interviews. Thank you. So glad I still have a bunch to go. Yeah, definitely. Okay, tip number 3. You ready? Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Do not stop inviting people to your workshop until they hang up on you or physically push you away from them. If you believe that what you have to offer can truly help people, then you owe it to them to do everything possible to get them in the door. And it's really hard. It's shockingly difficult to get people inside of a room. You need everything on your side. You need a great title. You need great pricing. You need great content. You need great credentials, to frame your credentials in the right way. You need great marketing. You need a great delivery system. But none of it works if you're the best kept secret in town. And I cannot count how many people I talked to were like, well, I sent out an email about my workshop and no one signed up. So like, one email, dude. The minute somebody, and people will say, and particularly when you're offering something transformational, it's really going to change their lives. They'll be like, oh yeah, I totally want to do it. I totally want to do it. And by sister, I'm going to bring 8 friends because I totally want to do it. People will tell you they want to, and they're mostly just being nice, right? But you don't know until you keep going after them. So you've got to keep asking them, hi, I'm just following up about that workshop that's next week. I know you said you were interested. And make it clear. You say, I'm happy to have you tell me no. But if you're still a maybe, I'd love to talk about it some more. Or if you're a yes, let's get your credit card. Right? People are very busy and they're mostly very confused. So you really need to be very clean and clear and get over, and we'll talk about this too, because I know the self-consciousness, we don't want to bother people. We don't want to seem pushy or salesy or sleazy. But, unless you are unless sleazy is something that you've been accused of before, it's unlikely that you will come off as sleazy. Mostly you'll come off as helpful. Think about how many times your dentist has to call you to schedule an appointment. And you don't hate them. You just think, oh, right, I really want to do that. And then you do. Good. Young says, yes, that's what I do. I follow up until they just feel they have to say something, whether it's yes or no. Right, exactly. You want to get them to a point of decision. We don't care what the decision is. They can decide yes, they can decide no. We're not attached to the decision. We don't want them hanging out. They're like, oh, yeah, well, maybe, mama. That doesn't do anybody any good. Okay? So it does have to do with overcoming your own shyness. I had to do it, and you can do it too. You really can. Number 24 on the 24 non-obvious mistakes. Look at this. We're not even 45 minutes in. Boom. Number 24 is celebrate. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. For every step along the way, find some treat for yourself that your inner 9-year-old would really love. For me, it's usually going back to bed and reading a novel with a big bowl of popcorn. But maybe for some of you, it's buying a new pair of shoes or having lunch with a friend or going for a walk in the sunshine or, a new pen, just something fun, something great. Give yourself rewards along the way because it's hard. It's hard offering a workshop by yourself. And you don't have a boss to turn to and say well done, young lady, give yourself a raise. So make sure that you're rewarding yourself for your hard work and celebrating the successes that you do have. Okay, so that's the 24 tricks or non-obvious mistakes to avoid when offering a workshop. And before I reveal the super hidden things that I've been doing this entire time, I want to tell you about the course. It sold out last year. I've had people asking for it, so I'm super excited to be offering it again. We start next week. This is not a long launch. You don't have forever to decide about this. So you might as well just decide right now. It's called Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops. It's 6 webinars where we're going to, like I said, walk through all of it, what to teach, how to decide. I know some of you are like, I'm not sure what I would teach. We're going to help you figure that out. We're going to help you figure out what to title it. I have this amazing title creation process that's really fun and easy. We're going to talk about how to market it so you actually get people in the room. We're going to talk about how to price it. We're going to talk about all the behind the scenes stuff, legal, admin, refunds, contracts, all that stuff. I'm going to give you my actual templates. We're going to talk about disasters and what to do when they strike. And I have a lot of room for Q&A. And again, just a lot of the other stuff that nobody ever tells you. Ground rules, engagement, how to get results, how to get testimonials, how to enroll the next workshop once you've got them in this one workshop. So you get those 6, which that alone is a pretty great class. I'm also going to do at least 3. Let's say 3. I'm going to do 3 tech calls, bonus tech calls. So I'm going to be walking you through some of the software that you can use. You don't have to buy any of it. You don't have to buy any software. I will also show you how to do this for free online. But there is some great technology available. And I want you to understand how it works. So even if you're not going to buy the software, you can replicate some of the things that the software does using the free stuff, okay? You also get a full year in the 365 Club. So that's a daily inspirational email if you want it. It's a monthly open Q&A coaching call with me in a small group and our Facebook page. So, because, while I would love it if you were put up a workshop in 6 weeks, you may decide to do it in the fall, or you may decide to do it after Christmas. And I wanted you to still have access to me and to the material and to the community so that you can get your questions answered as you move forward. You also get, so it's the 6 webinars, the 3 tech calls, full year in 365 Club. You also get this course I created called Write Great Emails. It's a $1,000 course. It sells for $997. And people have paid $997, so don't tell them that you're getting it for free. But it's all about my philosophy around email marketing, and it tells you exactly what to write and when and how to do it, whether you're using a free system like MailChimp or a paid system like Ontraport or Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign. And it just it takes something that I think sometimes people think is really complicated or hard and makes it really simple and easy to do. So this is like over $5,000 worth of stuff, and the course is way less than that. The course is 3 payments of $187, or you can save a little bit if you pay in full. It's under $500, and 30 days money back guarantee, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money cheerfully refunded, and you can keep the bonuses. If I'm not helping you or this isn't working for you, I don't want your money. So there's no risk to signing up. And if you buy while we are here on this call right this red hot second, or while you are watching this replay, and I think my tagging system will let me know when you tune in and when you purchase, you will get a very special bonus. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Actually, it's unannounced. You're going to like it though. Believe me, you're going to be very happy, and it has a value of over $500. So, and it has to do with getting some one-on-one time with my team, so you can really get specific about getting your questions answered by some people who have been doing this for a really long time. So there you go. So even if you only got the Write Great Emails course, that's already worth twice the price of tuition. And it's going to give you all these insights into writing and selling and marketing your course. So it's going to feel really good, because emails are just love letters, and you guys love to write love letters. I have some, so go to turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com. Here's my big slide, my special slide. www.turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com. Okay. And sign yourself up. Like I said, if it turns out it's not right for you, let me know. We'll give you your money back. No problem. And you get this ongoing, support all year long so that you can really get these workshops done, right? So it's 6 Wednesdays. We start next Wednesday. They're in the middle of the day, but everything's recorded. You have lifetime access to it. You can replay them anytime. Is there anything else I'm supposed to tell you? Oh, I have some quotes I printed out because these were so cute. So Jane says, "You are indeed a magician, Samantha. I was starting to feel a little lost in my business, but after listening to your Turn Your Wisdom into Workshops webinar this morning and then taking my pooch for a walk on the beach, I'm so much clearer about where I should be headed next. Thank you." Jane, by the way, does holistic animal care in New Zealand. So if what I teach works for the woman working with cows and pigs in New Zealand, I think it will work for you. Lisa says your how to title the workshop worksheet is gold. It's true. It's true. And Sue says, hi, Samantha, loving Wisdom into Workshop. So much stuff, and have just spent this morning listening to the first Write Great Emails recordings. I'm on fire. Would you like to be on fire? You too can be on fire. So you may be thinking, I don't have the money. It's not the right time. I wish she was doing this in June. I'm already coaching with someone. Look, here's the thing. You can have one of two things. You can have your excuses, or you can have the money and the impact you want. I'm sorry to be so bald about it, but it's true. You can hang on to your excuses, or you can take a step towards what you've told me you want. So I would love to support you in that. I've priced this class so that it is, not a freebie, but it's affordable. And, it's not like if you don't spend the $500 on this class, you're going to have an extra $500 at the end of the year. The money is going to go somewhere. It always does. The money is going to go somewhere. So you get to decide right now, like really ask yourself, tune in for yourself. What would it mean for you to offer a workshop? Who could you help? What kind of money could you bring in? Is there a book? Is there other speaking gigs? Is there an entire business? It's amazing what can be launched. This is how I started. So I took somebody's online program on how to teach a workshop, and it was actually about how to create a membership site, I think. And I learned and I implemented, and I've doubled my business almost every year I've been in business. So I'm not so special, Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the course itself? Anything you're wondering about, worried about, anything on your mind? You can go to turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com. Because if not, I'm going to tell about our 5 hidden things, and then I'll answer your questions if you guys have specific questions. Hi, Sam. For the payment plan, what's the timing of each payment? It's every 30 days. It's every 30 days. So the first one would process immediately. And then, what was step 9? Oh my gosh. Okay, step 9. Are you so proud of me that I actually printed out real notes for this call? Step 9 was about charging. The charging isn't about what you're worth. It's about the value to them. It's not about what you're worth. It's about the value to them. Thanks for asking that, Larry. That was a good question. Good. Lisa says, is there anything about selecting a venue, negotiating? A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Deborah says, you're totally special. You're totally special. Thanks, Deborah. Thank you for saying that. And we give you, like I said, we give you our checklists. We give you our workshop prep, what goes in our workshop box, like our special secret box. We give you our legal agreements, terms and conditions, all that kind of stuff. And if you have special questions, there's time for those to get answered. Because I want to make sure that you really get the information you need to offer the most successful workshop possible. And like I said, I've offered 10-minute talks, 20-minute talks, all-day talks, 3-day talks, 6 weeks workshops, 10-month workshops, all-day intensives, 4-day intensives, retreat intensive, like you name it, I've taught it. So I'm happy to share with you whatever I got. Okay. Good. Any other questions before I reveal the Easter eggs, the secret things I've been doing? You ready? All right. So here's your 5 bonus tips. The first thing do you have any guesses? Actually, I want to see if you have any guesses. Last time I did this, when I did this last year, somebody guessed that me taking on and off my glasses was like some kind of deliberate thing I was doing to like humanize me or make me seem more frail and human, when it actually just has to do with the fact that I can't read anything unless my glasses are on. But I thought, wow, that would be really ingenious if I was that clever. I'm not that clever. Somebody else guessed that having my books up in the back was something I was doing, which those of you who know me know that those books are always up there. And they are, I think, as they do sort of work as like subliminal advertising, kind of. But here they are. Here are your 5 bonus tips. You ready? 1, yes, see, as I said, guess your books play strategically. Right, exactly. So kind of, that wasn't one of my 5, but it's true. I do that on purpose. Product placement, exactly. Just to remind people like, oh yeah, I really want to get that book. Gigi says the encouragement that you give us each step of the way. Oh, that's lovely. That's not on my list of 5 either, but that's a good note too. Yeah. All right. So one of them is I made sure to welcome you, and gave this course a very definitive start, right? Even though the camera was going a little bit a couple minutes before I did that start, now there's a place for us to edit from when we do the replay, and it really sets up this workshop as ritual, the workshop as sacred space, right? It tunes my energy up, it tunes your energy up, it brings us all together. I get kind of annoyed when people are doing webinars. They're like, okay, well, I guess we'll get started. Okay, so here's the first slide. And oh yeah, this is Jennifer. She's teaching with, like, no, be crisp about it. It's a show. Start the show. I also, sort of, this is number 2, but it's kind of part of number 1, is I do that breathing thing, that 4-7-8 breathing. And it's funny, I was doing a Facebook ads training that I offered a couple months ago. And so I was getting a lot of people registered for that who are less artsy than you guys. And one of the guys was like, I hate this breathing thing. It's stupid. I'm like, you guys, it's like 15 seconds and it's breathing. You're doing it anyway. Relax. But that's fine. You know, he may not be my person. If I do it because it centers me. It taps, it calls me forward in a different way. And I just love it that it's, you know, and it gives you all an opportunity to connect with your own body and breath in a slightly different way. So that's how I like to start mine. I remember a writing teacher who used to start by lighting a candle. But whatever it is that you like to do you, you know, to set the space and set control over the space. Somebody was telling me about hearing Ram Dass speak, you know, and how he would just come out on stage and just kind of soak everybody in for a while before he started speaking, right? So you think about what works for you. Roberta says, I love the breathing and have actually nicked it and used it with my people. That's great. Steal away. I don't even remember who I got it from. I learned it a million years ago. So Lisa says it brings you to the present. That's exactly right. Roberta says, you name check me too. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yes, we want to give credit where credit is due, but the breathing thing is pretty universal. It shows up in a lot of different traditions. Okay, so number 1, welcome people and give your workshop a definite start and end, and start on time. Start on time. 2, I do my breathing, you do you. The third thing I did that's really helpful for people is I gave you a little orientation. I said, you know, here's what we're here for. Here's why I'm doing this. Here's how the pace of this is going to go, so that you kind of get oriented to the space a little bit. It's easy when you're teaching, you sort of have it plotted out in your mind, but it's very reassuring to people to understand, like, okay, there's a structure, there's a format, I know what's going on. This thing I'm doing right now, I saved a little juicy bit of information for after the pitch, to keep you on, to keep you listening, and to keep you engaged. I liked it that it was kind of a treasure hunt, right? So for you to be kind of looking throughout the course about what I was offering or what was, you know, maybe sneaky in there. But it's, especially online, you know, people are distracted. It's easy for them to click away. So we want to give them a real enticement to stay to the end. So think of something really fun. Deborah says, I love that you very often give the date. It makes it great when I re-listen to the talks. Oh, good. Yeah, I do that, especially in my courses. I do that. And in the 365 Club, I always do it. And the 5th one is, it really has to do with the values of the Organized Artist Company. But I really want to remind you guys that you have the power to claim this as well, which is the opportunity to be really as authentic and transparent and honest with people as is helpful to them and feels good to you, right? So I may not tell you everything about my personal life or everything that's going on because it's not useful to you, but I will tell you things like, yes, I saved a juicy bit of information so that you will stay on through the entire call. Like, I love that kind of transparency. I think that's fascinating. Understanding how intellectual curiosity can make for a better workshop and improve your sales, I think is fascinating. So I'm happy to share that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in keeping that kind of thing hidden from anyone. And I remember one time at a, pardon me, at a live event I was doing, somebody came up to me and said, like, wow, I'm kind of tripping out. Like, you're talking to us about selling as you are selling us a program, but you're showing us how you're selling us the program while you're selling us the program. Like, the levels of transparency are blowing my mind. Well, welcome to my world. So I just want to encourage you that you can do that. You know, you can say, here's the sales portion of our presentation. You know, you don't have to feel weird about it. You know, this is just funny. Some of you, most of you guys are on my email list already, and you may have noticed that a couple of weeks ago I sent out an email saying that it was my birthday and that I would love it if people wanted to review my books on Amazon or Goodreads. Those reviews are like gold to an author. They're so important. And that if you didn't want to do that, maybe write a review for some other author that you loved. And if you didn't want to do that, just put your hand on your heart and think a kind thought about an artist you love. And I got a couple of emails back. Most people wrote me back saying like, oh, happy birthday. And yay, I totally did that. Or, oh, I haven't but I will, or whatever. But I had some people write me back and they said like, oh, I see your clever ploy trying to get us to buy books and then write the reviews. And I wrote them back like, yes, you saw through my clever ruse of trying to trick you into buying my book. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Well done. Gloria says, you're very transparent and honest. This is my first experience with you, and I'm glad I found you. Well, welcome, Gloria. I'm glad to have you on the list. Roberta says, that's the total opposite of sleazy. Well, exactly. Deborah says, your home office shows so much openness and authenticity as well. So full of books, it shines with your message. Oh my gosh, the books are out of control. Like, that's not even... There's like 3 or 4 more bookcases that size in this house. We have a problem. The first step is me admitting that I'm powerless over books. Okay. But thank you. I love my books too. Good. So, at this stage of the game, you can ask me questions, but really you've got 2 choices. You can go, that was interesting. Maybe I'll do this sometime and not have anything change. And that's fine. You're totally allowed to do that. Or you can say, gosh, I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. Or I've been offering workshops for a while, but they're not really going as well as I would like them to. I'm ready to have things be different. I'm ready to shift. I'm ready to learn new things. I'm ready to at least experiment. So go to turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com, throw down the $187, it'd be 3 payments, or pay in full, and you can save a little money, I think, if you pay in full. You'll get the Write Great emails right away, so you can get started right away. The class itself starts next week, so there's not a long delay. And I would love to have you there. I would love to see you getting your wisdom into the world in a way that really matters. I would love to see you making money, doing something you're great at and something you love. You guys are so accomplished and you're so wise. And the world now more than ever needs what you have to offer. It needs your insights. Lisa says, I can't believe people said that. They're too dumb to be your client. No, they were, I don't know. They just thought they were being clever. It's fine. Angela says, for those of you feeling curious, do it. Sam is amazing. She continues to inspire my own work in the world. And no, this is not a paid advertisement. She will rock your world, and the tribe of like-minded folks is invaluable. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Thank you, Angela. That's very kind of you. We've had people. Angela's been offering workshops. I heard from Barbara the other day. She started offering retreats in Italy, these art meditation retreats in Italy. And we got her pricing up so that she actually made money on it instead of losing money on it. So you don't want to go back to exactly what was happening yesterday. You want to change. You're ready. If you're here, you're ready. You would never even heard of me if you weren't ready. So take my hand. Let me show you what I've learned. And like I said, I'll give you everything I got. I'll help you in any way I can. And, you've got an opportunity here to share with the world, to meet new people, to grow in a new way, to deepen your own understanding of your own work, and to make really good money doing something fantastic, right? It's a whole new economic system. We're not making money exploiting slave labor. We're not making money exploiting the resources of the earth. We're making money from our own creativity, which is an inexhaustible resource. And there's an unlimited number of clients out there. There's so many people who need you, and you can get them. You can get them. Roberta says, I have a season of equine assisted workshops scheduled already. I need this help. Right on, Roberta. We will make those workshops rock for you. We will make them rock. So if you're ready to try it out, and like I said, 30 days, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money cheerfully refunded. If for any reason this isn't working for you, you don't even have to tell me why. You can just say, I'm out. We'll refund your money. No questions asked. And you can keep all the bonuses. So really, there's no reason not to do it. There's no reason not to do it. Plus, it'd be so fun. We can hang out. Okay. Any other questions? Anything you guys are wondering about, worried about? Here, I'll put the www, turn your wisdom into workshops. Whoops. There we go. Good. And like I said, if you sign up while we're live, I'm stalling a little bit because if you sign up while you're live, you'll get something very special that you're going to like, and involve some one-on-one team time with some of my team members who are super smart at all this. So they will really drill down and help you get super clear about what you're offering, who you're offering it to, how to sell it, how to price it, what technology to use, all the stuff we cover in the course, but you'll get a chance to really ask the questions that are relevant to you. Good. Anything else? Anything anybody's worried about, wondering about, curious about, going sideways? All right. Well, I would love to have you be part of this. So go to turnyourwisdomintoworkshops.com, sign yourself up, change your life. You too could end up living by the beach with having Seth Godin say that your work is an instant classic. I'm so not over that. Good. Let's do one more round of breathing to close out this circle together. You ready? Let's inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and now the questions are coming in. Okay. Roxana says, Sam is great. I'm a full-time artist in Peru, thanks to her knowledge. Oh, Roxana, thank you. Roxana is offering these sold-out workshops doing work with paper in Peru. If she can do it in Peru, you can do it here, wherever you are. Wendy says, I'm one of those people paying bigger monthly payments for another online program, and I'm going to do everything I can to be in your program. I've only just found you, and I know this is meant to be. Thank you for being you and for sharing your wisdom so generously. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. And I really want to support you in this. Absolutely sign up. The monthly payments are pretty low, and we'll see if we can't get you making money right away, offering something so that I want this workshop to pay for itself 10 times over and almost immediately. And I think you'll find that the way I teach it, it kind of goes with other people's teachings. So no matter if you're in another coaching program or you're working with other people, I may know them among other things, but it's the kind of thing that works with a lot of other systems. It works as a good organizing principle for other systems, and it'll support everything else that you're doing. Kathy says, thank you so much, Sam. You're such a generous soul. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I'm so proud of you. The fact that you're here says you're ready. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ready. Karen says, thank you, Sam. Your programs are awesome. Thank you. I work hard to have them be awesome, so I'm glad you think so too. Yay. They really are. There's a lot of great content and a lot of great support. And we surf it. It's your workshop. So if, as we're working, we do need to end up talking about hotel contracts because people really are interested in retreats, or we really do want to talk about filling high-end programs, we can add sessions on that. So whatever you guys need, I'm happy to provide. And that's one of the reasons why I price it closer to $500 than not, is because if I did it at like $97, I wouldn't be able to give you guys the time and energy that you really need. But at this price point, I can tell that you're committed and I'm committed, and it's really worth my time to show up and give you exactly what you need. Gigi says, thank you, Sam. You bet. Thank you, Gigi. Deborah says, thanks. So tempted, as I know it's going to be invaluable. I've learned so much from you. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Well, I'd love to have you. And I think people have done some amazing things. We're getting posts all the time in the 365 Club of like, I started my grief recovery workshops. I started my female empowerment workshops. I started my coaching practice. I started, running a weekly small group. It's not as hard as you think, and particularly when you get the support that you need. So I would love to have you all there. Good. Anything else anybody's wondering about? Notice this thing of like, if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I have a question, but I don't want to ask, but I have a question, but I don't want to ask. This is your moment. Angela says, as a past participant, I'd love to enjoy this again. Does it make sense to do it again? Absolutely. I often have people do these classes 2 and 3 times because you're different every time. And Angela, you know how I work. It's a lot of worksheets. It's a lot of investigation. It's a lot of inquiry. So to be coming to the material, it was one thing to come to the material before you had ever tried to offer anything, before you really knew what your brand was, before you, while you were still trying to juggle a full-time job and do all that other stuff. And now you're in a different place. You're in a different place with your business. You're in a different place with your clientele. You're in a different space mentally. So I would absolutely try it again. And again, if you try it and you're like, oh, actually, this isn't any different, this isn't working for me, then just let me know. And like I said, we'll refund your money and you can keep the bonuses, and no harm, no foul, as they say in the sporting things with balls and games, right? Isn't that what they say? No harm, no foul. Okay. But also it's the community, to be in it, and to be moving through the material in 6 weeks. The bonus tech calls are going to be killer manila. I've got these great co-trainers doing them with me. So you'll really get some great insights into the software. And let me just underline, you do not have to buy any software. I will show you how to do this for free. It gets a lot easier if you buy some of the software, but you don't have to. So don't get freaked out about that. Angela says, yes, and your brilliance is deeper and different in a new way too. Thanks, friend. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know more than I did the first time I taught this. Gigi says, I love your energy and humor. Thank you. Thank you. Shirley says, that's where I am. No clue what I want to do yet, but we'll soon have some time to spend looking at new opportunities. This just kind of came up and I was curious. Oh, Shirley, girl, this could be just your thing. Pardon me. Because even if, you don't have to know exactly what it is you want to offer or who it is you want to teach or even how. Like, do you want to do it in person? Do you want to do it online? Do you want to do it on the phone? Do you want to do it in small groups? Do you want to do it in big groups? Don't worry about that. And I would much rather, I like to think that this class is sophisticated enough that even if you've been teaching for a long time, you would get a lot out of it. But especially for the people who are beginners, please take this class first and save yourself the incredibly expensive mistakes, errors, lack of understanding, lack of sales, lack of everything that I did when I had, this is me saying I really had to learn all this stuff the hard way. And, really get this foundational information first, even if you don't teach a class for another 2 years. Like, it's so good. And as you have probably noticed just from these 24 tips, a lot of this stuff applies to just running better meetings, to running a better business, to being a better communicator, to being more authentically yourself in any present moment, to having more fun in your life. So there's a lot of application to the material beyond just teaching workshops. Uh, Kathy says the price is good through the day, or the price is the price. So here's another, this is a little bonus tip. The price of the work is the price of the work. I'm worth it, and so are you. All the bonuses are all the bonuses. The thing you get if you buy while we're live together is this special unadvertised bonus of some one-on-one time with a very special member of my team. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's kind of heard. I'll tell you later. But anyway, it's super valuable. But otherwise, I didn't do an early bird price for this. I didn't. There's no 2-for-1. There's no bring a friend. There's no. It's just the price is the price. So there are people who will tell you that's a dumb way to do it, but it's the way that felt good to me to do it. So the price doesn't change. But But if you're feeling like you want to jump in, go ahead and jump in and get that bonus. Get that bonus. But if you need to wait and do it later, then wait and do it later. That's okay. Donna says, yay, I signed up and I'm so excited. Thank you for this amazing info during the webinar, Sam. Thrilled to be learning from you. Yay, Donna, I'm delighted. That's wonderful. Kathy says, thanks, gotcha. Okay, good. Yeah, so there is some good reasons to offer early bird pricing sometimes, or, only, because people need a good reason to make the decision. So there can be a good reason to offer those special act now discounts and stuff, but I didn't for this one. And we can talk more in the class about why and what the rationale is behind that, but I think you guys get it. Good. Anything else going on? I'm not checking my email, so I can't see how many of you have registered, but clearly some of you are, so that's the best news ever for me. I really love teaching this material, and I really love helping set you all up to succeed in a way that feels really great. And like I said, from the questions you all asked, there were so many questions about structure and content, like how do I pace the material? How do I not overwhelm people? How do I not be boring? How do I deal with it when people are at different levels? What do I do about that one person who always wants to show off what a know-it-all they are? We got a lot of questions about sales and pricing. How do I not feel sleazy? But the number one question far and away was, how do I get butts in seats? And that's where Write Great Emails comes in. That's where that marketing information comes in, because the more clearly you can articulate what it is you're doing, the value of what you're doing, who it's for, why it's priced the way it is, why it's structured the way it is, the more magnetic your work is going to be, so that people just show up and come the way we've seen here. Like, oh, I just found you, and now this is the perfect thing, and I'm so excited, and here's this opportunity, and I'm in, right? That's some magic, but it's also, there's some design behind that as well. So I want you guys to really understand how that works and get that X-ray vision so that it can apply to whatever you're doing, to everything you're doing. Good. But I could really tell from the way you guys asked the questions that you are all so ready for this information, like it is right on point. Sometimes I'll ask questions and I'll get answers back that are like, maybe you're a little more of a beginner and this isn't really right for you, or, oh gosh, I've been, lets me know that I've been thinking about it improperly, but this, I'm so square on. This is so like right the meal you need because you're hungry for it. I'm super excited. Good. Anything else? All right, I'm vamping so that you can get the bonus and buy while we're here together. Because again, the system, isn't this cool? It'll tag you inside my system and I can tell what time, whether you were here live or whether you're watching the replay, and if you bought or not. Isn't that amazing? Incredible. Good. All right, one more breath. Anything anybody else has to say? Thank you so much for being here. I'm delighted to dive into this with you guys. I can't wait to see what we create together. So let's do one more breath. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.